Alright, so today I'm going to show you how you can get 31 IVs on your Pokemon instantly using an ACE code made by Mettrich, which is called Change Any Data of Any Pokemon. If you're not familiar with ACE, go check out the description and I will have a link to my setup guide because you will need to set up ACE in your Emerald game before you can do this. And then you need a stable ACE species like this one. I also have a guide for that in the description. So we're going to come here to the gist again of Mettrich, and we are going to click on function codes, and currently there's only one here, change any data of any Pokemon. And this is meant to be used with the eShark generator, so when you click on that, it'll take you to this. And what you're going to do is copy the whole source code and replace the existing code in the generator with it. So we are going to do that right now. Just copy all of this, not this, just this, and well, I've already done it, so we're going to do it again. Whoops. Remove all the text that's already there. Okay, let's do it from the beginning. So when you come in here, it's going to look like this. Just remove it and replace it with this, right? This is the source code. Now it's only for English for right now. So, but maybe if you're watching this video a little bit later, after I upload it, maybe there's another language there, who knows. But yeah, if you're playing on an emulator, as it says up here, you're gonna use the setting old emu 1. Okay, so old emulator means if you're not playing on the MGBA emulator, it's considered an old emulator, and you would change this to 1, like that. But if you're playing on console, DS, you know, GBA, or MGBA emulator, leave it at 0. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, luckily for us, this code has already set the perfect IVs as like the standard setting for this code. So we don't have to touch anything. But normally you would change this one, the field. The field, as you can see, 66. If we scroll down here, you can see these are the field value table. This is the field value table. And if we come down here, you'll see number 66 is Mon Data IVs. So when you put that in there, it's going to load the IVs. And the data is basically what do you want to do with them? Well, we turn them to 31, right? It's the value for perfect IVs. So you don't have to touch anything. And then you just hit compute. Now, you're gonna see down here that it's gonna say, warning, not enough space, needs 15 out of 14 boxes, and that it contains unwritable characters. Just ignore this, because we're gonna be using the sky wallpaper on box 1, and the desert wallpaper on box 2, and this is going to allow it to actually only need 14 boxes. It's magic, I know. And another thing is you need, you know, BIOS emulation. So if you're an emulator, you probably need to get your BIOS file from somewhere. If you're on console though, you're good to go. So let's go over the code quickly in case you have any issues. Remember that these are O's, you know, small O's, and then these are spaces. And when you like have spaces left, just hit start, and like you don't have to fill out the last spaces or anything. You can just hit start and then skip to the next box. Yeah, so that's an O, that's a 0. Yeah, these are the 3 dots. Some of them, yeah, this one's probably the one that's easiest to get wrong. It looks like a 1 kind of, but it's a small or lowercase l. Okay, and this is a lowercase o. We're now going to try it out. So this is the sky wallpaper. You go to the 4th, where is it? Yeah, the 3rd option, scenery 3 and sky. This is the one. And for box 2, for box 2, it is, yeah, scenery 1, 3rd option, desert. Okay? Great. Now, the stable ACE can be in your party, it can be in the PC, it doesn't matter. And it will change the IVs of the first Pokemon in your party. So in this case, I'm using a slacking, And you will notice something special about this slacking is that it has no ability. And this is because I used the same code to change the species of a Pokemon. So what I did is I took a Pokemon that had the second slot ability and turned it into slacking. And because slacking only has one slot ability, it basically got nothing, because slacking's second ability is nothing, right? Because it doesn't exist. And that's how I removed the ability. So we're gonna make this even stronger by turning it into 31 IVs. So take a look at the stats right now. What we're gonna do is look at the summary, and now we're done. And we can come into the summary. You will notice that nothing changed, okay? I'm gonna remember that 38, 27, 20. But if you put it in the PC, it will refresh the stats. And 38, 27, 20. Maybe I already did it, I don't remember what I actually just saw, but now it should have perfect IVs. And to confirm that this actually worked, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So you need to fly to the Battle Frontier, and if you've ever done any like IV breeding in this game, you know that you have to go into this house, and this guy right here will tell you the average like how good your stats are, essentially, or how yeah, approximately how good your IVs are. Okay, interesting. Alright, I found the problem. So the problem is in box was in box 5 here. I put a capital T instead of a lowercase t, and that was enough to make the code not work. So I'm going to show you again what happens if, and by the way, this is a 1, not an L, and that could also be a little bit confusing. Okay, so we have the space, and then we have the R, Q, and lowercase t. There we go. Now again, every time you're done with the code, you should always just save the game before executing it. In most cases, there are maybe a few codes where you shouldn't do it, but in this one it's fine. So, because, you know, you're not, as long as you haven't executed the code, it's fine to save. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, we need it first in our party. Let's take a look at the stats again. We have 38, 27, 20. Okay, can we remember that? 38. I already forgot it. 38 something, 20, yeah. My memory is, yeah, not here right now. Okay, but you look at the summary, and we're gonna put him into the PC to refresh the stats. And let's see what it says now. Okay, that's more than it was, I can tell you that. Now we can go take a look. Oh, oops. We're gonna need him with us. We're now gonna go take a look at whether or not he has perfect IVs, but we already saw that the IVs or the stats have changed, so we can be pretty positive that it worked. But let's see what he has to say about my slacking now. Yeah, if it says it's wonderfully outstanding in its ability, then you can be sure that it's probably 31 IVs and everything. And since this code is doing that, you know, it's pretty much, you can guarantee that. But you can also check it through an IV calculator online if you wanted to do that. But, you know, if you see that, it's most likely the code, if you didn't have that earlier, then this definitely worked. Alright, so I think that's it. Now, if you have any questions or anything else you want me to make a tutorial of on this change any data, maybe you want to know how to get perfect EVs, or you want to, like, fast EV training essentially with this code. Actually, let me show you right here on this Metagross. What I did was, if you look at these stats, they might look a little bit high. And you're not wrong, because when I changed the EVs on this Pokemon, I changed I had to change them all individually, but normally you can only put like, you know, 252 into 2 stats, and then you have 4 EVs into a third one maybe, and then you've maxed it out. But when you're changing the EVs of each stat like this, you can actually bypass that cap. So I have 252 EVs in all of my stats here. Yeah. So that's interesting. And normally when you change the stats of a Pokemon, they reset when you put it into the PC, but with changing the EVs it actually didn't. So that was interesting. So that's one way to make a really overpowered Pokemon that you could crush the battle frontier with, right? But again, changing IVs like this, you are not gonna have a legal combination of PID. It's gonna be a mismatch of some sort, so you should not use these for competitive battling, right? Alright, so thanks for watching, and good luck.